right, good evening. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone, and our first meeting of 2022. Happy New Year. Unfortunately, as we begin this new year, we kind of pick up where we left off as we continue to deal with the COVID-19 crisis, now entering our third calendar year. And obviously, the virus continues to cause anxiety for us and our students, but I hope that the community is comforted by the leadership that has been demonstrated by this district and how we've handled return to school protocols and distribution of testing sites. And I really want to start by giving a congratulations and a strong thanks to our administrative team here who came in on a Sunday to distribute thousands of test kits and who has been on top of this crisis since the beginning. We've been leading from the front rather than from behind, and our cabinet and administrative team and superintendent deserve a tremendous amount of appreciation and thanks for the strong leadership that they've showed, and makes a difficult situation hopefully a little better knowing that there's a steady hand on the wheel. So I want to thank everyone in this room for your support in this time. Okay, we have a Dr. DeLee will give us a COVID update in a couple minutes, but first I want to turn it over to an Eagle Scout project proposal that we have tonight, and it is from Ryan Rinkowski of Troop 12, the Matinacock Troop, and he is going to describe to us his potential Eagle Scout project. Good evening.
All right, good evening. Can I take off the mask?
I think you got to keep it
take
up,
off
yeah.
the mask, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, you have to keep it on. I'm sorry.
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an official meeting, so.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen
You
of the
can raise
school
the
board.
microphone. I know.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And so here, I have a question to ask you guys. So I'm a Boy Scout, and I'm part of Troop 12 Huntington, and I'm looking to do my Eagle Scout project at Walt Whitman High School. So basically, what my project is I want to build a spike pole net with benches behind the South Cafe. And the reason why I want to do it is because the school, they have a spike pole club, and I see them outside in the grass and the dirt sometimes, and they get muddy. So I want to give them a nice, like an official play area. Like it's a sand pit, it's 2x6, it's 20 times 20, and it's going to have benches around it, so you can do 2v2s.
I'm going to show my age. I got to make sure I understand spike ball first. Is this that little net that goes down?
Yeah, it's
and the
that
kids
little
then
net, and
spike
you hit it.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right, at least I know.
Yes. So, yeah. Yeah. But it's going to be 20 times 20, and it's going to be 2x6s on the edges, and I'm going to put fabric, landscaper fabric, so the roots and the outside and on the grass won't get in it. And in the bag, in the benches, I'm going to do concrete, and it's going to be like the park benches. So I'm going to put it right next to the spike ball pit so people can play and chill out during lunch. So, yeah.
What's the timing of the construction and the work?
I was hoping to get it done as soon as possible, because like my birthday is mid-February, so I'm trying to like push it. Like I'm trying to get as much done as fast as I can. So, yeah.
Good. And how will you get the materials? And is it through donations or you fundraisers?
I'm gonna have a fundraiser. What I'm doing, I'm gonna have my fundraiser in later after my birthday in March,
Okay.
when it starts to get warmer. But I'm basically gonna get the materials from Home Depot, and I'm gonna order it online. And I have a couple of contacts with some landscaping people that can donate me some materials to use.
Cool. Board have any questions for Ryan on the project?
Behind the South cafeteria?
Yeah, it's behind the South Cafeteria.
Okay.
You want to be able to cover the entire project by yourself, or you having some of your other scouts?
I have my whole entire troop that's gonna help me, so I have that.
Very good.
Excellent.
Well,
Want to give Ryan the go-ahead?
Absolutely.
Any-
Ryan, it's a go. Congratulations. Good luck.
all right, thank you.
Yes, teach us how to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to you improving our facilities, and then we'll do a ribbon cutting, and maybe we'll play a game. And then please invite us to your Eagle Scout Court of Honor. John will be on the same team, okay? Yeah. Is that for me to sign? Okay. Okay. 112, I should know that. 22. All right, you're official. Congratulations. Good luck. Thank you.
Please share that message.
We're working on it.
All right, moving on to our next item. Feel free to stay the rest of the meeting, but if you'd like, you can go. Your portion is complete. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you. All right. Dr. D'Elia, can you give us an update on the district's reopening response to COVID?
Sure. Am I doing this right?
You're on.
You can hear me? All right, good. Thank you. I had to push a button last time. We've made some advancements. All right. First of all, I want to thank the community for their patience and understanding as, we still navigate through, some challenging times here. Just to recap a little bit what Mrs. Iapetta said before, we distributed over 2,800 tests on January 2nd, and, we had a large amount of administrators come in on that Sunday, and, we were able to, the minute they were available, the tests, Dr. Senamore, through his office, was able to get the test to us as quickly as possible because we as a group felt it was important for us to distribute on Sunday prior to the opening of school, and we were successful in doing that. So every student was eligible to receive a kit, and we do still have some parents that haven't picked up kits yet, and we still have them now available at all the schools. So there is still one, if you haven't and you're interested, they are available at your child's school. We did on Monday, January 3rd, the day after the distribution, we did have 275 students that tested positive. And that number seemed to be, that was our high watermark as far as student positives, but coming down to, the numbers have trended downward, and today we had one staff member and 13 students. So we are, for many reasons, we are happy in the way that it is trending downward, and we're seeing it, not just here in South Huntington, but in other places. So it is a really good thing. One of the most challenging things is that the Suffolk County Department of Health, their guidance is very fluid, and it changes quite often. And it's, by the end of this meeting, something could change in an email that I received saying that there's new guidance. But the message is pretty clear that the state wants to keep schools open. It's a very clear message coming from the governor, reducing the quarantine time from 10 days down to 5 days. Having our teachers provide the remote instruction for quarantined and isolated students has been tremendous. I can't say enough how seamless. I have not received one complaint from any parent regarding the instruction for our quarantined students. And I have to hand to Mr. Callahan and his team and all the teachers in South Huntington. There's a very big thank you out there. And I can't say enough. And also, all of our employees have gone above and beyond. Everyone. And, there's another group as well that I want to point out. Our permanent substitutes who have been really earmarked for our academic recovery plan. But they also, when I'm listening to other superintendents in other districts that are closing some schools because of their staffing concerns, we never really got to a point where we were at a crisis mode for a school to stay open. Yes, we were a little thin in our kitchen staff area and with our transportation, with our drivers. We got a little close, there's no doubt. Now we're definitely in a better place, much better place. But those perm subs also helped out. It was never a thought of having to realign staff to other buildings. So they came in twofold. You know, for our academic recovery plan was that primary reason why they're here to support our young ones. But they also kept schools running smoothly during a very challenging time. And, you know, and it goes for all employees that help here. I can't tell you how proud a superintendent I am right now of South Huntington. I had a neighboring superintendent email me and state that doesn't look like COVID's happening in South Huntington. But I know it is. I don't want to, you know, diminish anything, but it's just a testament to the people that are here that care about the young ones. People sitting around this table, to the teachers, custodians, drivers, everyone chipping in. It was so awesome to see. And I'm hoping, like many of you are, that we're getting over this hump and hopefully much better days are ahead for a consistent amount of time. That's what we're all hoping for. But knowing what we have here, the support from everyone, it's unbelievable. And I can't be any proud of what we have here in South Huntington. So we're moving in the right direction. I'd say thank you to everybody, and I mean that.
Thank you, Dr. D'Elia, and you know, I think also board deserves congratulations and thanks as well, because these issues, you look at other districts, they can be very divisive, and they are in other districts, and our board has never let this become a divisive one, and you know, we just continue on. And I think what Dr. D'Elia was talking about with the email that he got was that, you know, obviously there's an impact. You know, we still deal with COVID, but it's learning is happening still, and great things are happening, and kids are getting accepted to great schools, and we're winning championships, and All-American is in soccer. So great things are still happening, even as we're in the midst of a pandemic, and we haven't lost track of what our mission is. We're still able to advance academically, which is obviously wonderful in our mission. All right, we will now move into our agenda portion. I need a motion first to amend the agenda to add a Schedule 3 to personnel. Is there a motion? Ms. Carey, second. By Mr. Joyner. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. And now a motion to adopt the agenda as amended motion. Ms. Carey, seconded by Ms. Meyer and Mr. Bronson. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Items C through F require one resolution for adoption. Those are our minutes, financial items, and schedule of bills. Is there a motion? Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Carey. Any questions on items C through F? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to communications, we have one communication from a parent, Corinne Doria, regarding COVID protocols. Is Ms. Doria here to address her letter? Okay. And it was just some concerns, which, and the email has been responded to by our superintendent. Moving on to new business. New business item number 1, resolution for updating reopening plans. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Carey. Dr. D'Elia?
Yes, this is, as I mentioned earlier, with the county amending and being very fluid with their guidelines. I would love to have the opportunity as superintendent to update our guidance for COVID protocols moving forward.
Board have any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business item number 2, increase in the 2021-2022 budget as a result of a property sale. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Mr. Bronson and Ms. Meyer. Dr. Senamore?
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. So this is for bookkeeping purposes. We have finalized the sale of the teen center, and those proceeds now, we asked the board to increase the current year budget by the proceed amount, and obviously these proceeds are earmarked for the security vestibule constructions in the schools.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 3. Is a grant disbursement agreement. Is there a motion? Ms. Carey, seconded by Ms. Meyer and Mr. Bronson. Dr. Centimore?
Thank you. So we've been fortunate in the last couple of months, some of the grants that we've been waiting very, very patiently on, months and months, years at a time, to help fund some of our projects. This latest grant is specifically earmarked to help offset costs for our current project at Walt Whitman High School regarding the cybersecurity lab.
Okay. And it says approves the grant disbursement agreement. There wasn't any attached. Is that coming in the future, or?
It was probably just omitted. We'll get you a copy tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to item number 4, amendment to a lease between the South Huntington Union Free School District and Camp W. Motion. Ms. Carey, seconded by Ms. Bronson and Ms. Meyer. Dr. Centimore, what's going on with the lease? What's being changed?
So this, we are continuing a strong relationship with Camp W, who operates over the summer at our Birchwood Intermediate School. They're going to be paying for a 9th week, but it's basically to just utilize the parking lot and parts of the cafeteria, so there's minimal impact on the school, and this was vetted through the school administration.
Board, have any questions on the lease? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to a out-of-state field trip request, and this is to go to the National High School Cheerleading Championships in Orlando, Florida. Motion. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Dr. Murphy?
Yes, this is just an annual trip that our cheerleaders, if they are able to attend, meaning they're eligible through the other competitions, they're raring to go. They meet all the requirements to be able to go. We've looked over very carefully the protocols and procedures, obviously for student safety and COVID. Everything looks good, and they're excited to get to where they're going.
And what would be the case, obviously, it's out of state. What if a student, while on the trip, tests positive for COVID?
So Disney has, or Varsity Sports or Varsity Spirit have particular procedures in place. If a student contracts COVID, Disney moves them to an alternative site. They're able to stay there and quarantine. The rest of the team will quarantine. They provide that resource in terms of lodging. We also have a permission slip out through David Barth, our athletic director, which was vetted through Section 11 and other athletic directors, that makes the responsibility, which parents will sign before going on the trip, that any financial responsibilities, if in fact their child gets COVID and has to quarantine there, as far as changing flights, if other lodging needs to be maintained. And then we have coaches and other parents that will also be chaperones to help if there needs to be somebody to sit back and wait while somebody's quarantining.
Any questions for Dr. Murphy?
In the Florida.
The Varsity Spirit and Disney were very thorough. I have been looking through the documentation where they tried to provide scenarios for anything that would happen, given obviously the current things that are occurring in the in the nation.
Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 6, another field trip. This is a one-day one to Six Flags in Jackson Township. Motion. Ms. Carey, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Dr. Murphy?
Yes, this is the physics. They obviously haven't been able to do it for a little while, but this is the annual physics field trip to Six Flags Great Adventure. This is where physics classes from across the tri-state area come and they do physics experiments within the confines of Six Flags. They're following all COVID protocols and procedures at the park. They've been open during this, so they've given out safety procedures. It is a day trip, and it is outside, so we feel that it's something that our kids can benefit from, and it is part of the curriculum that unfortunately they haven't been able to experience in the last year or two.
Any questions?
I was going to say, while I've never chaperoned the cheerleading field trip, I have chaperoned the Six Flags field trip. And
Do you go on the rides?
I
or-
did. It's actually it's great for the kids because they get to go on the rides, but they do actually have some learning. I mean, there's some experiments tied to it. So it's and the only throw up was actually on the bus on the way down. So actually, they all did great on the rides. So it was a great trip. But no, it was
Some scary roller coasters
Yeah.
there. No, not for me. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Item number 7 is the approval of a tax exemption motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer and Ms. Carey. So this is a, this one, as well as item 8, were tabled from the last meeting for further discussion. We had a public hearing on this back in November, and we previously approved in December a number of exemptions at the request of the town of Huntington to be consistent with their protocols. And this number 7 is to grant an exemption, or not grant an exemption, it's to really the procedure for the exemption. So for senior low-income applicants, they would be able to renew by submitting an affidavit rather than having to complete a full application. So it's really just a paperwork issue. And Mr. Bronson, you had a question. Was your question sufficiently answered?
Yes, I think Ms. McLean helped to provide me with information. I reviewed it, and my questions were answered.
Okay, great. Any questions before we vote? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 8. This was another exemption that was tabled from the last meeting. Is there a motion? Ms. Carey, seconded by Mr. Joyner, and this is a volunteer exemption under real property tax law 466-F, allowing an exemption to be granted for a spouse of a volunteer who's killed in the line of duty. Mr. Bronson, you had a question on this one. Was your answer sufficient?
Yes, ditto to my prior comments.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any further questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, great. Moving on to new business item number 9, Dr. Murphy's favorite item. This is the approval of a confidential data and security agreement. Motion? Mr. Bronson, Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Carey. Dr. Murphy?
Yes, it's just another long list of programs that we utilize within the classrooms, kindergarten through 12th grade, that we have to get privacy agreements so they do not sell our students' data or our data. These long lines, a lot of them are for some of our coding and programming, as well as just other programs throughout the secondary and elementary level.
Okay. Any questions for Dr. Murphy? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business item number 10, approval of travel and conference request, National School Board Association Convention, Annual Convention. Motion. Ms. Carey, seconded by Mr. Joyner and Mr. Bronson. This is approval for board members and superintendent to attend the annual school board conference. We've gone in the past several times, though not for at least 2 years now due to the pandemic, and hopefully it won't get canceled again. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business item number 11, another travel conference request. Motion. Ms. Carey, seconded by Mr. Joyner and Ms. Meyer. This is for the superintendent to attend the New York Council of School Superintendents. I think that's what that acronym stands for, their winter conference in Albany. Very exciting time to go there in Albany.
Sure you want to send it?
Yeah. You sure you want to go?
I love it here.
Sounds more like a punishment. Winter conference. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, lovely time of year there. Moving on to new business item number 12, approval of a donation from the Wildcat Booster Club. Motion. Ms. Meyer, second by Mr. Bronson. This is a donation in the amount of $750 from the Wildcat Booster Club to help defray the cost of the varsity football dinner that took place after the final championship game, the Long Island Championships, on Friday, November 26th. Any questions? All in favor? We thank the Booster Club. Item number 13, obsolete equipment, to declare certain IT equipment obsolete. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Dr. Murphy?
Yes, this is, as we've gone through Memorial and some of our storage spaces, we found a large number of computers. These are specifically Dell computers that are out of network. They aren't able to be supported by the newer network and newer programs, as well as our own programs. So they've asked to be, they remain obsolete, and they're asked to be thrown away because there's no value in them, and we need to make space for other things.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Joyner.
I wanted to inquire to see about, is it a possibility to donate computers if necessary to organizations such as Tri-CYA?
Absolutely. These are so out of date that they don't even support like some of our new Windows models or even the internet, like some of the internet. These are things that we would always try to donate or provide. These are just so out of classification, they wouldn't be able to be used anywhere.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
we wouldn't throw away good, because it's important that we give back to Tri-C or any other group that
Oh,
we
any other
could.
group,
This
yeah.
is just not something we could use, they could
Gotcha.
use.
If they want them, can they have them, or?
Sure, they make great paperweights.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business, item number 14. Just a note, we only see 5 board members here. Ms. LaCara is with us. She's virtual pursuant to the governor's executive order. Hello, Ms. LaCara. And we only have, we have a vacancy right now with Mr. Nikowitz's resignation in December, so. Okay, item number 14 is the approval of hiring of personnel. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Dr. D'Elia?
This is really meant for emergency kind of situations, not predicting the future, and if we ever come where we're going to have a lot of staff out, and we have subs, especially in the area of transportation and the kitchen area, that I would have the ability to approve those hires. And it's really for emergency situations.
Any questions? All in favor? Yeah, question? Oh, no, all in favor. In favor? Opposed? All right, resolution carries. Moving on to new business, item number 15 is the approval of lead evaluators on teachers. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Dr. Murphy?
Yes, we've recently hired a number of new administrators, so we had to train them in order, in the evaluation systems that we utilize to evaluate our teachers. This training took place, it's starting in the summer and then ended into the fall. They had to go through numerous units of study and then take an evaluation at the end. This was obviously Mr. Costa, Mr. Hender, Ms. Fulton, as well as Ms. Rice. We had 5 administrators that took this test, passed it all, and were certified through this program that all our administrators have had to use in order to say that they are able to evaluate teachers effectively.
So these are adding in addition to the ones we've already.
Yes, every administrator has had to take these courses, and they're long. They're about 30 hours in total, and then they have to take an evaluation at the end.
Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? New business item number 16 is a resolution regarding the capital project, the Woman High School Art Gallery. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer and Mr. Joyner. Dr. Centimore?
Thank you.
What's
Yes,
this
so
one?
these are for state filing purposes, as we're seeking the final project approvals for the art gallery at Whitman and the district-wide vestibule construction. And actually, district-wide vestibule construction, we did finally get from the final approval from the state just very recently after this was submitted. The state is very particular with documentation, and so we're just trying to dot as many i's and cross as many t's as we seek final approvals on these projects.
Okay. We had already approved the seeker on this.
We
Is
had
this an
already-
additional
Right.
requirement from the state? Okay. Any questions?
Assuming everything sort of goes to timing or plan as of now, when would construction, is this like a summer
So
project?
the
or-
vestibules would start probably this summer, and the art gallery, if the state can get us the approval pretty soon, we'd like to start it this year, you know, so.
Thank you.
The state is very slow on the capital projects. It
Yeah.
looked like there was some good news on that in the budget from the governor, hopefully. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to our CSE and PSC, excuse me, CPSC. Recommendation, item 17, motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. And these are the recommendations of placements by the Committee on Special Education, dates listed September, October, November, December, and January, and the Committee on Preschool Special Education, dates listed August, September. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. That ends the new business items, quite a few today. Haven't met in a while. Moving on to personnel, we have personnel scheduled. What's that? We did. Yeah. Yeah, we did at the beginning. Yeah, personnel schedule 3, you mean? Yeah. We now have personnel schedules 3, which newly added 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 20, and 22. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, with that, we have some exciting news. We have the board just voted on the approval of our new Stimson Middle School principal, Michael Duggan. Congratulations. The board has met with Michael in executive session, was very impressed by his experience. He comes from Rockville Center, where he currently is the assistant principal of Southside Middle School. Prior to that, he was the assistant principal at the Bronxdale High School in the Bronx. And then prior to that, he was a science teacher, AP Bio, in various locations. He also has some interesting other work experience as a staff biologist at Coral World in the St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands, and also worked at the New York Aquarium in Brooklyn. So he brings a lot of different experience to us and has great references, and we look forward to him starting as soon as possible at Stimson Middle School. Congratulations. Would you like to say anything?
So through the process, everyone's learned that I like to talk a lot. So I'm going to keep this one really short. I just want to thank everyone. The board has been absolutely amazing. The questions were really robust and really made me think, through my process. Dr. D'Elia, thank you so much for everything you've done, and with the administrative team, I really appreciate everything. I'm so happy to be joining you. Mr. Smith, thank you so much. We'll be having a lot of conversations. I'm over the moon, so thank you so much, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And once you're on board, Mr. Smith will be at one of our tables up here, though we're running out of room at this point. We're going to... We promise the table will be in the room, though, not outside. So. All right, information and reports are listed. Future meetings, our next meeting is January 26th, which is our Teacher of the Year meeting, discussed with the board, and we intend to keep the Teacher of the Year presentation, at least for now, on that meeting. We'll continue to monitor, as we always do, the transmission levels, but as things are starting to decline and our protocols in place, it is the intent to hold that as regularly scheduled on the 26th. That will be at Waltham High School. Then February 16th back here, March 9th and March 23rd, and April 12th as we get into the budget season. Dr. D'Elia, I think you had a couple comments you wanted to make?
Sure, real quickly. We had our first snow day this past Friday. It was a traditional snow day, and it seems like I was a hero to many people. But I have to be realistic that, yes, if we have another snow day, it will be a traditional snow day. But if we go to a third snow day, we will have to make it a virtual remote learning day so we don't lose any days from our vacations that are scheduled later in the school year. So let's hope for no snow. But we do have one more traditional day left.
Comments by board members? Ms. Meyer?
Thank you, Mr. Ciafetta. Am I on? I can't hear
Bring
myself.
it closer.
Okay.
Yeah, a little closer. Yeah, it's
We're
green,
good?
so-
Oh, there we go. We have a different microphone every week.
I know, yeah, what happened to the other one?
Mr. Duggan, I just would, like to welcome you to the South Huntington family. During our conversation earlier, you did mention that we're a big district with a hometown feel, and we're very happy to be welcoming you into the fold. Very happy to have you here. Welcome. And just piggybacking on Dr. D'Elia's earlier comments, as a parent, not just a board member here, I really want to commend Dr. D'Elia, Dr. Senimore, the cabinet, and especially the building administrators as well, on their timely, transparent, and thorough communication as we've gone through this wave of COVID. I feel very, very fortunate because I know many other districts are not communicating as much as we are, and keeping us all informed about the safety and the situations in our schools is of utmost importance. So thank you for your commitment there. And in addition to the staff, the teachers, I also would like to give a shout out to the group of school nurses, particularly at the elementary level, that I know are really shouldering quite a lot right now. Everything from maintaining the information of who's out, when they come back, do they have the proper documentation, to just handling kids that still don't feel well on a regular day like we have been for decades before COVID. So a thank you to them as well.
Great. Comments by other board members? Owen, would you like to, any comments you'd like to make? Give us an update on what's going on in the district?
Yeah, sure. After our meeting in December, I realized I had to get on my sort of outreach to the general student body at Whitman as part of my position here. And the way I tried to approach it was by creating a slideshow presentation, which I was able to present and share with some leadership classes at Wool Whitman. And for those who don't know, we have leadership classes at Whitman, which are really classes where kids are recommended to go into the class to learn about different leadership skills from different leaders in the past, and they're encouraged to go into different situations to learn about leadership and learn different qualities about reaching out and finding other ways to overcome obstacles by leading others. And I realized that this group was a great selection of group of kids who could disseminate information that I bring back from board meetings, and then they can bring back feedback from me to these next meetings. And I essentially asked them to give suggestions, and I work closely with Ms. O'Neill, who runs these leadership classes, to make assignments for these kids to fill out a sort of a paragraph, basically explaining something that they would like to see done at Whitman, maybe in their course, maybe at Whitman, but hopefully in the future as well. And after coding through a lot of the responses, I really came up with like two big kind of common themes. One was really just like maybe a student accessible Wi-Fi for the rest of the students to understand, to be able to connect with their phones and to connect to other devices that they might have to bring to school. And another one would just to have an after-school busing program for kids who want to go into extracurricular activities or intramural sports an hour or so after school is over, so that they have the access to be able to go into those programs and not have to worry about a ride home afterwards or get stuck at the school and have to wait for a parent to come home after they're done at work or whatever the situation may be. So those were just two kind of small themes, and I hope to really build on it after this meeting, and I hope to bring back my report from this meeting to those same classes and discuss and really hash it out about what they want to see me do as their voice really for the student body, and something that really just to establish a connection between the board and the student body. And I just wanted to just reiterate again that this is just the first small step, I think, that I could take, not only in my term here in this position, but that people can take, especially afterwards, to really just make a stronger connection between the student body at Whitman and the Board of Education.
And if, I think those are good suggestions. Dr. Murphy, if you and Ms. Fulton could look at that student Wi-Fi issue, see if that's feasible, and give us a report back to us on that. And the second issue that you brought up, we actually got a parent email on that recently on the after-school busing, and it comes up every so often. We used to have it, and then in the budget times, we did cut it. But I think it's a good thing we can, we do look at it at budget times. So Dr. Lee, you can look at it and see the cost, and the board can consider that. See if we have flexibility. In the past, we've been so tight up against the tax cap that we just haven't had the ability to put that back in. But it's a different year, and maybe it's possible this year.
We'll definitely take a look at it.
Great, thank you. And then you also reached out, something else you talked with us about important was explaining to students the role of the Board of Education. Mm-hmm. And so extend the invitation again to the board if you'd like to go into the leadership classes with Owen, and just sign up with Mr. Murphy to do so. Great, thank you. Voice of the resident. All right, good. Take a motion to adjourn. Motion. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Bronson, and Mr. Joyner, and Ms. Carey. Everybody seconded. All in favor? All opposed? All right, thank you.